So, about 20 or so years ago, a friend of mine was out of town, so I was apartment sitting for them, and that was nice. They had a small but very nice place, and um, I always loved listening to seminar recordings. And back then, everything was on cassettes, and I loved getting a new set from a seminar. And on this occasion, I had a new set. I was very excited, and I sat down in the evening to listen to it. And it was a recording of a seminar, and the two presenters started presenting. And a few minutes in, they asked people to do something, and basically, well, I'll describe what they did, and then we'll do it. They had everybody get out a piece of paper, and they said um, that they wanted everyone to write down anything that was on their mind that was going to possibly take their attention away during this 2-day seminar. And so they had everyone write everything down, and then they had them make a note next to each item about when they were going to give it attention, when they were going to handle it. And so I did this as I was listening. I made a list of everything was on my mind, and then when I was going to handle it, and then I put the list to the side, and I gave my full attention to listening to this seminar. And I was really struck by the quality of attention and the number of ideas that came up for me when I was listening. Um, I was really blown away because it pointed out to me how fragmented my attention can be, and that even though I'm in a seminar or listening to something, part of my attention goes somewhere else, and doing this simple exercise really let me focus in a way that I really hadn't noticed before. And so I didn't listen to the whole, it was probably 7 or 8 tapes. I didn't listen to that the first night. So I made a decision that for that tape series, I was only going to listen at times when I could give it 100% focus. And I have to say that to this day, all these years later, that's probably the tape series that I gave the most attention to and that I learned the most from. And to this day, when I go back and listen to segments again, I do the same thing. I make sure I take out a piece of paper, I write down everything that might be on my mind, and I put it to the side. And what happens for us is very often we're trying to keep information in our head, and we have all these open loops. It's like, oh, I have to get milk, or I have to remember to call this person back. And all these little open loops take a little bit of our attention and a little bit of our focus. It's like somebody in the wings is trying to keep your attention, like, don't forget to do this. And by writing these things down and for a moment putting them somewhere that you know that they'll be there when you're finished focusing your attention, it allows you to really focus, and it allows your nervous system to really, really calm down. So we'll do a short version of this now. And I also highly recommend this, sometime, I would say early in the evening. If you ever are having difficulty sleeping, this is a great thing to do before you go to bed. I would say a couple hours before you go to bed, so that when you're asleep, you can fully be asleep and your unconscious mind isn't trying to work through things or remember things. So we'll do this as a bit of a journal, I would say a journal meditation. So find yourself a comfortable seat, and also get a piece of paper or something that you can write with. And as always, take a moment to just settle in. And you can do this with your eyes open, or you can close your eyes and just open them occasionally when you're writing. And take a moment and notice your breathing. Is your breathing full? Is it shallow? Are you breathing in your chest or in your belly? Now in front of you, you have a piece of paper or something to write with. And what I'd like you to notice is anything as we're in this moment that's calling your attention. I invite you to write it down. So whether it's a thought or a task or a to-do, just make a note of it. Anything that would call your attention away from this moment. It might be something that was going on just before you started listening to this. It might be a recent interaction. Or it might be something that you have to do later or later in the week. Or a project that's in mind. Just allow yourself to write down anything and everything that comes to mind. Just allowing yourself to do a full mental dump. Anything that your mind is holding. Things that are current, things that are off in the future. Just get it all down. And many people will find that they'll write for a minute or two and then slow down. And if you just stay with it, you may find that another wave comes. Another set of tasks or to-dos. Could be a chair that needs fixing. A leaky faucet. Get it all down. Now, that's the first phase. And as we go into the second phase, you can always add to the first phase. So now, I invite you to look at your list. And to the best of your ability, make a note about when you'd like to attend to things. At least now it's on a list. So you can at least agree with yourself that you'll come back and review the list maybe later today or tomorrow. And in fact, one thing I like to do is I schedule reviews of my list so that I know that anything I capture, I'll come back to. And you can put a date of your next review on the list. If you don't know when you're going to attend to something, you can use the heading someday, maybe. David Allen, who wrote Getting Things Done, keeps a list of things that he may do someday and maybe not. So those you can just put someday, maybe, and you can come back and review those from time to time. So now just for a moment, you can put your list down or to the side. And again, check with yourself if it's okay to just focus in this moment. Knowing that if anything comes up, you can pause and you can add it to your list. And you can just enjoy the feeling of being in this moment without those things calling it your attention. Isn't it nice to just be in the moment without the pull from the past or the pull to the future? And just allowing a wonderful break in this moment. So now you can begin to come back. And as always, I like to give a little stretch and come back into the room. And now you have that list, which is great. And during the exercise, I said, put the date of your next review. Like I said, I like to schedule it. I like to, if possible, do a review of all my to-dos at least once a week. And then my kind of daily to-do, I'll review that once or twice a day, just so I don't get lost in whatever the 1,000 things that I could be focusing on in a given moment. And I encourage you, like I said, to try this as a way of helping your sleep. Definitely before you are going to sit for a nice meditation, you can do this as kind of the opening segment so that when you're meditating, you can be fully there. Or when you're going to study or focus on a project, it's great to do this first and then let your brain just focus on whatever you're working on, as opposed to being in sort of this reactive mode where we're checking emails or doing this and all that stuff. Getting everything down when you want to attend to it. One piece we didn't do is you can take your list and also group them by type of task, or is it something around your house or shopping or whatever. So I encourage you to try that, and I hope you enjoy the increased focus that it allows you to have.